it's interesting that to modernize it, they made it in this fashion. They put her in a school, perhaps to make it relatable and for it to properly fit into the category of, the teen flicks and all of that. But that being said, the original Addams family, the Addams are homeschooled and they are schooled to be an Adam. Understand something? Of course, the last thing that the Hollywood elite and of course the globalists want to promote is homeschooling. But you have to understand, for somebody to be that different and to be that unique, they can't be in a school. Because you see, a school influences you. You know, Abraham Lincoln once said, that the mindset of a classroom in one generation is the mindset of the nation in the next. And that is reality. You can change, you can mass manipulate a people, turn them from Christian to Muslim, or from Muslim to Christian, or from Christian to atheist, or from people who have common sense to people who think there are multiple genders and LGBT is the way to go. You can do that if you control both the schools and the media. Those two things. You can make yourself a god to the people, and the people will worship you if you control the schools and the media. Those two things is very important. So, school is a huge part of forging and changing people's character. For somebody to be an Adam in the sense of the Addams family, you have to be homeschooled. Because where do all those principles, for you to be that unique and to be doing your own thing on that level, you have to be homeschooled. It has to be the person who is as crazy as that is pouring into you. Because children are like a sponge, they soak up everything. If a child goes to school, especially in that formative years, and finds that their family is weird, the child will want to be like those in the school, and perhaps when the child goes to school, the child will dress and act that way, hide clothes and then go to school dress like those in school and all of that. Then when it comes home, acts different. But if that child in that formative years is being taught to be weird in the Addams family way, when that child comes out, the child would think, as an adult, as somebody who is grown, the child would think that the whole world is weird, and start seeing some kinds of philosophies that justify why they are the way they are, and why the problem is with everyone else. So these are things you have to understand. But let's keep watching. Those are piranhas. Now let's talk about something else, and that is the practicality. The Addams family was a cartoon, and I know that they have been shows built on it. I love one of the MGM shows built on it, but they kept all those things inside their house. Now, when you do something like this is a huge crime that will lead to her being locked up. You cannot throw a bag full of piranhas into a swimming pool full of boys. In a cartoon, okay, but now how do you now make this realistic? You want to make, a TV show for teens, and this is what you are doing. It's something that can work in a cartoon, but not in real life. This is a huge crime, and it's like, okay, now she gets locked up, and what happens to, the rest of season 1? It ends in episode 1. So but let's keep watching. Now, this is psychotic. When you look at this is just plain psychotic. Now, as we have brought it into the real something, into the real world, making it realistic, this is now psychotic behavior. This is a little girl who, nobody touches my brother but me, carries a bag full of piranhas. Now, this is her own method of dealing with bullies. Throws the bag full of piranhas, 2 bags full of piranhas, into the swimming pool full of boys. Now, that is a huge crime on so many different levels, and this is the kind of thing that they lock people away for. If this is done in a cartoon, it is funny. I get it, in a cartoon it is very funny, but now it's like, this is disturbing. And that takes away from the Addams family. The Addams family is supposed to be fun, funny, and it's like, oh yeah, over exaggerating weirdness. It's just like Richie Rich. Richie Rich, the cartoon, It's like over exaggerating wealth. It's like, how wealthy can you be? Like, oh, Richie Rich has trucks and trucks, and I'm talking about the cartoon, not the movie. You know, Richie Rich has trucks and trucks of money, and money just means nothing to him. His dog is not a Dalmatian; it's a Dollamation. It has dollar signs naturally on it. So the whole thing is just an over exaggeration, but it's a cartoon, so we get it. But when you do this kind of thing, you can't do this. Now you have changed the whole thing. It's no longer the Addams family. Now we are not looking at, wow, this girl is psychotic. And then it's like, oh, the whole of the family is psychotic and maniacs. These people need to be locked up. That is not the direction that is being taken, because now how can this now be real? How can it kills the whole thing. It's not funny. Adam's family is supposed to be funny. So apparently she has now been sent to a special school where everybody is weird like her. And that also, if that is the direction they want to take this to, this also kills the whole point of Adam's family. The Adams family, what works is that they are weird in a normal world. They are around normal people. So it's kind of, and it's done in a way that it kind of normalizes the weirdness, tries to make the weirdness relatable. So, and if you want to do it as a um movie or as a sitcom, you have to be careful with how you translate it, because this is something that is originally built to be a cartoon. You have to be careful so that it does not go off key. Now you have changed the whole thing, putting her in a school where there are people that are just like her. It kills the whole point of the Addams family, because now it is now normal to be weird. Or is she now going to be more weird than the people? Now, what kind of adversity she's going to face in this new school where the people have their own crazy issues? So they just put, it's basically like a freak show of weirdness. They brought all kinds of weird people together, and okay, this is the school for the weirdest kids in the world with wealthy parents, or who knows. I wonder if they had the common sense to be true to that, because you can only afford to live that Adams life if you are super wealthy. Because if you notice, the Adams family, they do not work, but they obviously, if you watch one of the sitcoms, he owned a lot of stock, and this is somebody that this is weird. So this old money something, but they are weird. So for that Adams family issue to work, they have to be wealthy. And of course, they live in a house, a large house in the cartoon, a big mansion in the cartoon. In the sitcom, the MGM version, the old time MGM, it's kind of like somewhat, it is a good house, but it is not a huge mansion, And they are, it's a street that, they made their house look a little bit like a graveyard in a sense. It has a weird look. It stands out, but you have to understand the certain things that help to make the whole structure of the Addams family work when you translate it. Otherwise, you create something different, or you create a show that will be a failure.
Maybe you'll even make some friends.
So apparently some of the people in this school are weirder than her. So it's no longer the Addams family, because the whole point of the Addams family, like, this is a weird family among normals, in the normal world. Now you have taken her out of the normal world and put her in a world that is even weirder than her. So it is not the Addams family anymore. It's kind of like making a James Bond movie where everybody has better gadgets than James Bond, or everybody knows more about spying than James Bond. It's no longer a James Bond movie. You've destroyed the whole thing. Or think about making a Superman movie where everybody has superpowers. So if everybody has superpowers, how is it how is the movie Superman and about Superman? What is that? It's funny how Hollywood types, have no creativity. There was an individual, who made her own concept of Wednesday. I don't know if any of her shows are still online. She made her own, she's just a YouTuber, but she made her own concept. And it makes more sense because she was weird and she related a lot of that weirdness, but in a normal world. And you could see, like, how would Wednesday Addams grow up? What is she going to be like if she grows up and has to go out on her own, no longer under her parents, she has to fend for herself. So it really worked. But you know that was not done by a studio, and apparently it has more creativity. You know, I don't know if I can still find that video. See, let me check. Okay, yeah, this is it. The name of the YouTuber is Mary Jane Wilcox. So let's just watch a little bit of what she did so that you can see the comparison. You know, this is the proper way to do it.
I decided it was time to move out of the house. My parents gave me space, but you know how it is. As long as you're living under my mausoleum, you'll die by my rules. My parents are despicable monsters, and I'm grateful for that, but I can't sleep in my childhood coffin forever. You know what I mean?
You see what I mean? She is weird in a normal world. They find her weird, and she finds herself normal, and she finds other people weird. You know, so she is weird, but she finds other people who are normal weird. So that is basically how the whole point of Addams Family is. You know, that is the point.
Not really.
Rent is $800 a month. You'd get your own bathroom. There's tandem parking.
Does this building allow pets?
Oh.
And interestingly, she does look like Wednesday Addams. You know, if Wednesday Addams were to be a real human being, this is exactly what Wednesday Addams would look like. And she kept it true to the cartoon when it comes to the dressing. You know, the other one with the Hollywood one, they tried to modernize it a little bit. You know, reminds me of how, you know, the Sonic incident. You know, when they try to do their own Sonic. But let's keep watching this.
Oh, no. No, actually. Do you have one?
Not for long.
What?
And you see that, and interestingly, in the MGN sitcom version of Addams Family, stuff like that happened. And of course, they had a pet lion that they called Kitty, and of course, you know about the hand that was called Tin. So this kind of thing is consistent with, you know, translating the cartoon and the MGN series, you know, the flavor of it, really modernizing it, and, you know, making it work true to the whole concept of Addams Family.
Annie and I are really laid-back roommates. We don't party too hard, but we are night owls.
That's wonderful. I didn't know there was an anthropomorphic community in Los Angeles.
So the landlord will need to do a credit check on you, and we'll need the first and last month's rent.
That won't be a problem. My grandmother gave me a few starter doubloons.
Oh, that's nice that you're close with your grandmother. How old is she?
She'll be 18 years in the grave on Friday.
I thought you said she gave you money.
She seanced it. She's always looking out for me. I like the place too, Grams. Will you let me make my own decisions for once in my life? Thank you.
Whoa.
I'm definitely interested. Yay! Is there anything else you'd like to know about me?
Are you gonna murder us in your sleep?
God, Annie, will you please stop being so paranoid all the time? You're so high all the time. Someone else is here. You're embarrassing me. Purple hat. Purple hat. I'm sorry about her.
She's right, Annie. You have nothing to worry about. I don't shit where I eat.
Exactly. God, I like you so much, Wednesday. You're a straight shooter. You know, you can move in any day after the 1st. I'll help you. She'll help you. Do you have any final questions?
Just one. Do you come?
And you can see the sarcasticness and, you know, how everything is moving. Splendid. You know, genius when it comes to the comedy of it and relatability and basically what the Addams family should be
The
about.
post.
So let's just watch one more. You know, the whole distance. In this particular video she crammed up the different short videos because she made several short videos. You know, telling one that actually link up to make one straight storyline. You know, so it's very interesting.
So your last job was at a bakery? What happened?
Fired.
And what was the cause of your termination?
The fire.
And you can see the joke there. And very Addams family, you know. So your last job was at a bakery. What was, you know, what happened? You were fired, you know. What was the cause? You know, why were you fired? The fire, you know. So the whole humor of the joke and the straight delivery, you know, makes sense.
So this isn't just like a normal assistant job. Mr. Warren's office is like high volume. He will jump down your throat if you drop one call. Are you even confident in your phone skills?
So long as while Mr. Warren is down my throat, he doesn't remove my vocal cords and sell them on the black market.
Mr. Warren does not appreciate sarcasm.
A healthy set of vocal cords can sell for upwards of $30,000. In this economy, that is nothing to joke about.
Well, it's also imperative that Mr. Warren's assistant be prompt.
Oh, that won't be a problem. I'm an early riser. My coffin only allows for 6 hours of oxygen.
Well, you know the saying, the early bird.
Maggot gets the corpse.
The thing about this job is that it's important for you to be able to think on your feet. I think we should do a little phone test.
I love being tested.
Okay, let's say that Mr. Warren is in a meeting with an A-list client, and he's told you to hold all of his calls. Ring, ring, ring.
Mr. Warren's office.
This is Mrs. Warren. I need to speak to Mr. Warren immediately.
He is in a meeting, Madame Warren. May I take a message?
Oh, no. You pull him out of that meeting now, you moron. You freaking twit.
What will that accomplish, Mrs. Warren? Wielding power over your husband won't save your marriage. It will only make him feel smothered, which will inevitably lead him to smother you with a pillow in your sleep. Being smothered in your sleep isn't the worst way to die. It's certainly in the top 10 behind painkiller overdose and accidental death from autoerotic asphyxiation. But it is one that will leave you with unfinished business, which will force you to be stuck on Earth haunting your husband for as long as he lives. And we both know that with his new vegan regimen, Mr. Warren easily has 20 years left in him. Do you really want to be stuck in limbo for 20 years, Mrs. Warren?
No, I don't.
Excellent. I'll leave word that you called. Thank you.
So it's really delivery, the sarcasm, everything. Perfect. She actually succeeded in scaring, you know, the secretary, even though it is play acting, you know.
Okay.
I would say the lady that is doing the hiring.
Can you start Monday?
So let's end it there, you know. So that's the proper way to do it when you're doing, you know, the Addams family. You have to understand how to translate it properly from something that, you know, was a cartoon, you know, and a sitcom that people already like and are familiar with certain characteristics of it. You have to translate it properly. So that's that. Thank you and God bless you. Sorry, one more thing. I said that the name of the YouTuber was Mary Jane Wilcox, but apparently this video was just pasted on Mary Jane Wilcox channel. You know, apparently it's also available on Samara Morgan's channel. So I don't know the exact name of, you know, who, you know, the lady is, but obviously she does good work. So that is that. Thank you and God bless.
What you spread is what you get. Give your best, you get the best. Dress your best and people see the best. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. Parole with a suit, parole with the swag, parole with a can, parole with the stash, parole with a hat, parole with the class, parole with a stash, parole with the fast. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. Say this prayer audibly if you've not given your heart to Jesus Christ. Dear God, I believe in my heart that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, came, died, and was raised from the dead to save me. I confess Him, Lord, over my life and ask You to give me Your Holy Spirit to live within me. I receive Your Spirit by faith and thank You for I am now born again. In Jesus' name, amen. If you just prayed that prayer, congratulations, you're now a Christian. Go to Alfred.vip and click the salvation prayer link in the main menu to get resources that will help you with your work with God. God bless you.